Well, welcome. This is the beginning of a 10-part video series on the history of the Jewish people. It's an overview of the history of the Jewish people that begins from 500 BC to 100 CE. It's available in a 10-part series, and this will be ready for this class by July 13th. The historians in this presentation are Philo of Alexandria, Titus Flavius, Suetonius, Tacitus, Dio Cassius, and Eusebius. Let's go first, and prior to this, I have given you a Thessalonian presentation which focuses on the time between 50 and 100 CE and the events leading up to the Jewish War that would have greatly impacted this Thessalonian congregation to which Paul wrote his two letters, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians. Now let's look at the historians. The historians were Philo of Alexandria, who wrote an embassy to Gaius Caligula, the Roman Emperor, in explanation of the Jews in order to reduce prejudice toward the Jew and to give Jews further civil rights. But a majority of his writings were allegorical, philosophical, to try to bridge the gap between the Greek thought and the Jewish thought. There's a reference there if you should like to look up his books in one of the free online programs. The second writer is Titus Flavius Josephus, who is first a leader of the Jews in the First Jewish War and then went over to the Roman side as an interpreter. There are four key texts about the Jewish people that he wrote between 75 to 99 CE, and we will use a number of these in this presentation. There's a Christian writer, Eusebius, who lived between 263 and 339 CE in the 3rd and 4th century. He was a historian working for Constantine. He is also bishop of Caesarea Maritime, and he wrote the Ecclesial History. One extra thing to say about Titus Flavius Josephus: he was a son of a Jewish priest and a wealthy Jew. He descended by his mother from the Hasmon dynasty. He fought against the Jews in the First Roman War, but he surrendered to Vespasian rather than commit suicide. He became Vespasian's slave and interpreter. When Vespasian became Roman Emperor, he was freed in 69 BC and took the emperor's name. He aided Titus in the Second Jewish War and wrote histories of the Jewish people as an apologetic. He wrote about the Jewish War in 75 CE, the antiquities of the Jews, or the history of the Jews, showing they were an ancient and good people in 94 CE, and he wrote against in defense of Judaism. So you'll see several times Appian referenced in this work, and the life of Flavius Josephus as an autobiography. Is he a history and apology? In that particular time, he would have had his historical facts, but he might have had a slant that was focused on providing a good viewpoint for the Jews. The Roman historians were Suetonius, who wrote about the lives of the Caesar, and that covers from 100 BC to 300 CE. So we'll pick up some of the concepts of the Caesars and the people about the Caesars and that. There is Tacitus, who covers the history from 69 to 70 AD, and Dio Cassius, who wrote who lived between 155 and 235 CE, but his books cover between 68 BC and 47 CE. There is additional books 61 to 80, which we only have fragments of, to cover the time we're interested between 47 and 200 CE. So we may pick up a couple things. This comes out of a free online translation from Herbert Ballward Foster, done in 1707. There are more appropriate ones that are written by Harvard Classics. The talks that I will be given, I will go through 10 talks, starting with the Persians, then to the Greeks, who between 330 and 166, as they rule Palestine, either in the Euclidean dynasty or the Ptolemaic dynasty, that is the dynasty of the Ptolemies. Then I'll look at the Maccabean War, the Hasmonean dynasty under the Seleucids, the Hasmonean dynasty in Palestine under Rome, the Roman prefix, the 6 causes of the Jewish War, the first Jewish war, the period between the Jewish wars in which we had a Jewish revolt and a second Jewish war. These are optional videos for the course on Thessalonians, but I hope they will provide you. Well, the next presentation will be the history of the Jews, starting with the Persian period. Thank you very much.